Good evening and welcome to another presentation of high school volleyball on the ISC Sports Network, and Local lives here. I'm John Herrick along with Sean Walker. Sean, we got the Rossville Lady Hornets taking on the Clinton Central Bulldogs tonight. Two teams that are struggling a little bit. Rossville 5-7, Clinton Central 2-6. On the ISC Sports Network, you recently saw Clinton Central get a win over Carroll. What stood out to you about the way they played there?
Well, you know, they're starting to come together as a team, and I know the records don't necessarily show that just yet for these two, but if you look at their conference play right now, both teams 2-1 in conference. This is a big game tonight for both of these teams, so I think they'll start to figure it out as they do play some really tough schedules in Clinton County to try to prepare themselves for the tournament later on.
They are both in the Hoosier Heartland Conference, as Sean said, right with a 2-1 record, so tonight's game has a lot of conference positioning on the line. Rossville is 5-7, so a better record than Clinton Central, but they have a very key injury with Brooklyn Edmonds, one of their key senior players, their middle hitter, who's going to be out for the rest of the season. So Rossville's got to figure out a way to do it undermanned a little bit here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for her. I mean, she has dealt with injuries throughout her high school career, and she's just never been able to reach that full potential. But when she's been healthy, we've seen signs of, her going down as one of the greats in Clinton County. And unfortunately for Brooklyn, she's not going to probably make it back this year, but she'll be very, very contributive now on the bench and as a voice in the locker room.
Also, a new coach for Rossville. The interim coach is Lexi Shriver. Taylor McKinney, the varsity coach before that, is now out. The interim coach is Lexi Shriver for the time being. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Frankfort Eagles, number 976. They are people helping people. Also by Day and Genda Funeral Home, proud supporters of high school athletics in Clinton and Carroll County. Healthy Communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. And by Mulberry Telecommunications, Mintel Fiber Services offer the best gig in town. And this is the pregame show brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, putting family first. So with that, the player to watch that we have, since Brooklyn Edmonds is not playing, got to go for Rossville. Courtney Huffman here, Sean, one of their key four seniors.
Yeah, she's a setter this year. She takes over in that responsibility. She was second on the team last year as they ran kind of a two-setter offense last year. Look for her, though, as being one of the seniors. With Brooklyn Edmonds being out, Courtney she's that quarterback on the floor at that setter position, and she's really going to have to help lead the way to get these Hornets on track tonight.
Player to watch brought to you by Mintel Fiber Optic Services, powered by Mulberry Telecommunications. Your officials for tonight's game are Michelle Garrity and Kristen Marvin. Sponsored by Aaron's Flooring, offering luxury vinyl plank, carpet installation, and more. Visit aaronsflooringllc.com for more information or call 765-601-4145 for a free quote today. And let's meet the starting lineups with that. They are brought to you by Ardente Dental. Healthy smiles start here. First, let's begin with Rossville's starting lineup there. Sean, who else stands out to you? Of course, we know that Courtney Huffman will have to step up, but she'll get a lot of help as well.
She will, and look for Addie Gorbett, the sophomore. She is very, very talented. She'll help lead the way, and then you got some seniors in there with Madison Douglas and others that are going to contribute tonight here for interim coach Shriver.
And then Clinton Central, the Bulldogs, who are in green on your screen. They go with Carly Davison, Chelsea Rydens, Courtney Serber, Olivia Perry, and Alyssa Empson, along with Georgia Evans. They have 3 seniors, 3 juniors, 4 sophomores, but also 12 freshmen. So this Clinton Central team, Sean, very young, coached by Melissa Perry.
Yeah, it's a good mix there. You got some youngsters, but you've got some mixed-in upperclassmen as well that help lead the way. And look for Georgia Evans tonight. She was our player of the game the last time we saw Clinton Central, and she did a lot of that from the service line. Even though she's the setter on the team, what stood out that night was her serving ability. Had, I think, 5 aces over the course of the night and really helped Clinton Central with that victory over Carroll.
It is Rossville and Clinton Central. Rossville coming off of a season last year. They went 19-14. And Clinton Central was 8-23. When these two teams played each other last year, it was Rossville beating Clinton Central in 4 sets, 3-1. So, final preparations going on now as everybody's just making sure everything is squared away. The lineups are correct. The officials like what they see, and we are ready to get this one started on the ISC Sports Network. And also, if you're wondering, there was a JV match prior to that, and Rossville, which is a best of 3. JV matches are best of 3, and Rossville won that one in 2 straight sets rather convincingly, 25-8 and then 25-12, and that gives the point to Clinton Central, and dropping back to serve for them is Georgia Evans, who Sean was mentioning before.
Yeah, that was a great block at the net that time, able to knock down the ball from Maylee Thorpe, help Clinton Central out to a 1-0 lead.
And this one falls out, and the point goes to Rossville. You probably heard the communication there, and it was good from the Rossville bench saying, out, out, stay away from it, and they did just that. And Courtney Huffman on to serve.
On a night like tonight, John, it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. I mean, really, you've got a team in influx a little bit with Rossville. They had a new coach coming into the year in Taylor McKinney. Now they have a coaching change in the middle of the year. You're down probably your top offensive player in Brooklyn Edmonds. So you just want to limit mistakes, keep the ball in play, and same for the other side. You've got some youth that's growing up quickly on the floor.
And we have a whistle. Violation on Rossville gives the point to Clinton Central.
But to finish that point, you got some youth on the floor that's growing up. They're getting some time out here, and you just want to limit the mistakes and try not to give the other team very many points. Make them beat you.
Chelsea Ryden's the serve for Clinton Central. This little drop shot there almost worked out well for Rossville, but Clinton Central was able to get it back over. This is Addie Gorbett with the try, but Clinton Central's defense in position.
That Gorbett really shined during her freshman season in the time that she was given, and then came out as a basketball player as well and really shined there. And so Rossville fortunate they're going to have her for the next couple of years.
And Clinton Central wins that one. Those are the kind of plays that can change momentum quickly in a volleyball game as the kill goes to Courtney Serber.
You know, and in a play like that is just keep it alive, keep it in play. You know, it's not always pretty, it's not always a crisp, clean offense, but if you can just keep the ball in play, a lot of times the other team will end up making a mistake.
Off the fingertips of Georgia Evans, ties it up at 3-all. And Elise Oakes, a junior, is now the server for Rossville.
You saw Maylee Thorpe check out there in the gray jersey. She's the libero for Rossville tonight. Clinton Central's libero is listed as Jolie Roberts, the freshman tonight, but I do not see a different colored jersey. So,
and if you're new to the sport of volleyball, the libero is the defensive specialist, and they are usually wearing the different colored jersey. And there's Thorpe coming back in for Rossville.
That's the other thing about that position is they can sub in and out without it counting against your substitutions in rotation for the game.
Well, back and forth we go here in set 1.
It was Carly Davison on the serve. She's another one that really shined on the basketball court as a freshman.
Addie Gorbett gets the kill for Rossville to tie this up.
As a freshman last year, John, she had a buzzer beater against the Lady Gophers at home in front of the home fans last year that gave Clinton Central girls basketball the victory.
And Kate Meek with the serve for Rossville. Diving attempt made, but point goes to Clinton Central. Good effort by Addie Gorbett, but sometimes it just doesn't bounce your way.
Yeah, block was set there. Did get closed out all the way, so it ricocheted off to a place on the floor where the defense was not.
Alyssa Empson serves. And Empson there on the back line. Hit over by Serber. And Serber had it hit right back to her, and she was in a tough spot, so really no play for her to make there. And We're deadlocked at 5.
It always amazes me to watch players dig things out of the net.
Yeah.
To have hands that fast, and you even see sometimes where one player just hits it off the net to keep it alive and another player dives in there. And, man, volleyball is one of those sports that I'm always amazed that there's not more collisions. And then some of the plays that these girls make.
And the kill is Madison Douglas's, one of the 4 seniors for Rossville. She comes up there. And Addie Gorbett gets to serve again.
Douglas, another one of those senior leaders they're going to lean on now with Edmonds out.
And the service error gives it back to Clinton Central and ties it up. Courtney Serber serves again for the Bulldogs. On the back line, Gorbett. And way too hard on that one. Gives the point to Clinton Central.
She ate her Wheaties this morning.
Yeah, she did.
But there was some power on that.
Yeah, she felt good about her workout earlier, I guess. And that serve from Serber, it felt like she was further back there. Checking out for Rossville is Allie Neubauer. And the libero, Thorpe is the server now. Serber kept it alive back there. Elise Oakes comes up big for Rossville.
What a great swing, and I love how competitive we've been already here in set number 1. You got a couple of Clinton County teams here, not only county foes, but conference foes as well. And, you know, this is a big game tonight for these two teams because you want to stay at the top of those conference standings, and somebody's going to drop to 2-2, somebody's going to move to 3-1. That's a big shift from, you know, being second in the conference to dropping down to the bottom side, being 7th or 8th. So it's going to be huge for whoever can pull out a victory here tonight.
Thorpe again.
It's a good pass.
And the fight at the net is won by Rossville. Madison Douglas with good deception there, found the hole in the defense and exploited it.
Rossville fortunate there is that set not necessarily where it needed to be, but Douglas made a good adjustment and hit it where the defense was not.
Thorpe still the server. Rossville has scored 3 in a row. Serber keeps it alive. And Clinton Central unable to track it down, and they are going to talk things over with a timeout because Rossville has put together a nice run here. A moment ago we were tied at 7. Now it's Rossville ahead 11-7. Tonight's game brought to you by Frankfurt Eagles, number 976, serving the community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, Frankfurt Eagles offers something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, visit FOE.com or stop by Frankfurt Eagles at 408 North Main Street in Frankfurt. Also, the Healthy Communities of Clinton County. The coalition is committed to reducing the risk factors contributing to chronic disease, including health disparities, by decreasing stigma and encouraging policy, system, and environmental changes. The vision of Healthy Communities is to make the healthy choice the easy choice. For more information, visit healthyclintonccounty.org. Along with Sean Walker, I'm John Herrick. Great to be with you on the ISC Sports Network. And Sean, what do you think Clinton Central was talking about in that last timeout?
Limiting their mistakes and good serve receive because they're having trouble getting into their offense right now. And, you know, they're giving a lot of free ball opportunities to Rossville. And what that is when you don't get a good set to your hitters and you just kind of send it across, it really gives Rossville a nice opportunity to get set, get a nice big hit from one of their front line swingers there. And that's what I've seen at least over the last few points is Clinton Central struggled. And here it is again.
Yeah, there's Thorpe again, and that is her second service ace in this sequence. And Rossville has now pushed it to 5 in a row. Rossville is not an easy team to play at home. They are 4-1 at home and 1-4 on the road, and then 0-2 at neutral sites. But here at Rossville, they're tough to beat.
It was a good swing.
And nice play at the net there by Clinton Central's Eden Speaks. And Sean, we saw her last week do similar things at the net against Carroll.
Yeah, we did, and she's come along really nice this year as a junior for Clinton Central. 25 kills, a second on the team. Coming into tonight's matchup.
Olivia Perry, a sophomore for the Bulldogs, is now serving.
You know, I noticed in that timeout, I saw Lori Wainscott, who was formerly Lori Grimes, went to Clinton Prairie, was a tremendous volleyball player, and went on to Purdue, was an All-American there, I believe. She was part of the coaching staff up until this season when Coach Kathy Martin went from Rossville to Clinton Prairie, but it looks like she's back to help Lexi Shriver out, kind of steer the ship through the remainder of this season.
Serving rotation for Rossville comes back to Courtney Huffman.
Anytime you can get a player of Lori's caliber on your bench helping you out, that's tremendous. And it's a calming sense for these girls as well because they were used to her being there last year. So all these girls that played for Coach Kathy Martin last year are used to having Lori Grimes, Lori Wainscott in the huddle.
Look at that last point there for Rossville. That was Elise Oakes who came through with that. And Rossville now with their largest lead of set one at 6. Keep in mind we were tied at 7 a moment ago.
I like how Rossville's switching it up a little bit too. Kate Meek was handling some of the setter duties there as Huffman went out in rotation, and now Huffman back in. And it just seems like the attack now starting to roll. Rossville's getting it going.
2 in a row now for Rossville since Clinton Central last scored. This is kind of how the JV match went a little bit tight early. Rossville pulled ahead late. And what do we have?
Maybe like a lift or a net here.
Yeah, she got close to the net, and I think that's what got her in trouble. So Rossville gets the point, and Huffman serves again.
I think if you're Coach Melissa Perry, maybe one more point. If you don't get the serve back here, you may have to take another timeout. This one wide of the court kind of bells her out.
Service error there gives Clinton Central new life and the ball back. They make a substitution.
You know, you think these rivalries aren't much, and then we got to cover the alumni game to kick off the season. It was on August 5th. It was at Case Arena, and all 4 schools brought back alumni.
Oh,
and
my.
I mean, we're talking 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds playing, and then there were some younger girls as well, but leaving it all on the line, diving all over the floor. It was like glory days all over again.
Well, yeah, and that's what's so great about high school sports is Clinton Central wins that point there. Georgia Evans serves again, is that, you know, you remember these. You remember these days when late until you're a parent and you're a grandparent, you tell your kids about them. And when you got a chance to come back and play in an alumni, it's a chance for more bragging rights and more stories to gain.
Yeah, it was the second annual alumni game. Rossville was runner-up the year prior. They took home the championship this year. And so I'm looking forward already to year 3 because it was entertaining.
Madison Douglas, the server for the Hornets. And got Georgia Evans, helps fill the gap there to keep it alive for Clinton Central, and they get the kill.
I believe that was Davison up there. Carly, just a really good athlete, and again, young, only a sophomore. She's got 19 kills on the season, which is 3rd on the team coming into this one.
Chelsea Rydens is your Clinton Central server. Evans played it well from the back. Berkeley Lanham did a good job keeping it in play when her momentum was going a tough direction there. And that one hit high in the air by Olivia Perry, and you could tell, Sean, when the moment she hit it, she saw the ball going backwards, and she was like, no, that's not where I intended it to go.
Yeah, great way to put pressure on right there from Addie Gorbett. She didn't get everything into that one, but enough on it. It made it a difficult return for Clinton Central.
They gave the point to Clinton, or I don't know. It's like
yeah, maybe a violation there that we didn't see.
I don't know. Well, either way, that one's clearly a service error. So there's point number 18.
I will say Gorbett was awful close to the net, so she might have been into the net on that swing.
Elise Oaks serves. And, yep, tough play again for the Bulldogs. And you hope now that you don't have a key player hurt. Because when you see, it's good to see hustle plays like that, but sometimes injuries can happen. Carly Davison was the one hustling to get back to it. She is not someone that Clinton Central can afford to lose.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen girls over the years, you know, dive into the bleachers and dive into the team bench and, I mean, just leave it all out there. And you love the hustle, but you always kind of hold your breath and make sure everybody's all right.
You can always count on Davison for at least 1 kill per set. Was it tipped? They're saying it was tipped.
Yeah.
And the point goes to Clinton Central. And you can probably hear the collective gasp of, oh, from the Rossville fans.
Rossville really not arguing it. I mean, the team kind of questioned it looking at the official, but once it was ruled, you have the option there to send over your speaking captain if you want to have a conversation, and Rossville just decided to move on.
Yep.
And, you know, when you got a 7-8 point lead, it's probably better that way. You don't want to rub the official the wrong way early on.
Back in to serve, Kate Meek.
I like how Rossville's teams responded. They've got a new coach. You got one of your top players out, and you would not be able to tell right now. I mean, that would normally throw a team into a hizzy, and these girls are playing great. You like how I used that word too?
Yeah, hizzy. I liked it, yep.
I've got girls, John, they're in hizzies all the time.
Oh, yeah. And a violation on Rossville means point for Clinton Central.
That looked like maybe 13. I couldn't see what they held up there, but Cabry Bogan might have been the player called for the violation.
And a service error gives the point back to Rossville.
Seen quite a few of those from Clinton Central tonight. If they want to be competitive in this one, they're going to have to clean that up. Again, you don't want to give Rossville any free points here.
Late August, Rossville lost to Eastern, then to Western, but they bounced back with wins over Delphi Community and Tri-Central, trying to get their 3rd win in a row.
Yeah, and that Delphi, even though they're a conference opponent, it was out of conference. It wasn't considered a conference match.
Yep.
But Eastern, I think there's a lot of teams going to lose to Eastern this year. They're 11-1. They're 3-0 in conference play. You know, all you can do is just try to stay atop those standings and hope that they stumble at some point in time down the stretch.
Courtney Serber was way back there to serve. Thorpe gets it over as the libero. Returned by Eden Speaks. There was Madison Douglas again.
Got to wait and play that one off the ceiling.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to hit the ceiling or something up there. Dumped over by Allie Neubauer. But Speaks with a good response.
I like it. This is the best point of the match so far.
We had a pretty good rally early on, but yep. Both teams seem to be in rhythm here. Who breaks first?
Good job keeping it alive.
Fight at the net.
Great play. I don't know how she saw that, but literally 5 of the 6 defenders pulled up around that 3-meter line, only 1 defender back. And watch this right here. Just a quick set right over into the corner, and that's too much real estate for one person to try to cover.
Looked like it was Chelsea Rydens who did that.
Ooh, just out.
Barely.
Oh, they're calling it in.
Are they calling it?
Oh, no, overruled here. I was going to say.
Yeah, we did see, it looked like we did see one of the backline runners say it was in, but then the official overruled. And that's not easy. I mean, it's very possible for one person to see that it was in, another person to see that it was out.
The other thing that you've got there, too, in your line judges are usually JV players from the home team, and they're doing their best, and they're usually coached. When in doubt, give it to the other team,
right.
Make the chair. You know, you don't want the fans yelling at you. If they're your own fans, that's okay.
Right.
But you don't want the away fans yelling at you.
Well, it was 7-7, and then Rossville would go on what was a 7-4 run and bump the lead up, and now Clinton Central's just been kind of trying to regain some of that early set one magic that they had.
It was a good swing by Speaks there. She put a little pepper on that one.
And that hits the net.
I like the attack from Gorbit from the back row.
And Rossville interim coach Lexi Shriver wants to talk it over by calling a timeout. So while they do that, we'll remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, where they believe in putting family first. As active members of the community, they know that when dealing with a loss, seeing a familiar face and being treated like family is important. Day and Genda Funeral Home will serve your family in a unique and loving way and be the family you need. For more information about the services Day and Genda Funeral Home offers, go to dayandgenda.com. Sean Walker and John Herrick with you. Rossville High School, 23-17. Rossville leads set one of this best of 5. And Clinton Central will be serving coming out of this timeout.
I like the never quit attitude from the Bulldogs right here. They fell behind, 7-8 points. They've clawed back now, got it to within 6, forced a Rossville timeout. You got to figure out how to keep the momentum rolling out of this timeout right here. Things have been a lot more crisp over the last few points for Clinton Central. Their passing's been where it's needed to be. They've been able to get the ball to Speaks where she's been able to put some heat on it. That's a great serve.
And that's the first service ace of set one for Clinton Central. Rossville's had 4 of them, and that's the first one for Clinton Central. When you're behind in any sport, you know what helps? Quick scores. And that was one that definitely helped. Kate Meek able to track it down near the corner. Out or in? What's the ruling? They say out. Clinton Central point. Now they're back within 4.
It's a good call.
That is 4 in a row now by the Bulldogs. And then an untimely service error. Now it is set point for Rossville.
That was the same idea as that ace that she had a few minutes ago. Just try to float it right over the top of the net, let it die around the 3-meter line. Just didn't have enough to get it over. Good pass.
And a really good dig on the back line by Addie Gorbit. Set up by Madison Road. Thorpe tracks it down here. Gorbit again. They have to get it over, and that's exactly what Speaks does for Clinton Central. Another good rally here by both teams. And the play at the net ends up being the difference for Rossville as they pull away and win set number 1, 25-19. Sean and I will have set number 2 for you when we come back in just a moment. You're watching high school volleyball on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Henry. Henry is hip. Henry loves the new Mintel TV streaming app. And check out Helen. With features like Cloud DVR, Restart, and Look Back TV, Helen never misses her favorite shows. And this is Bob. Bob can't contain his excitement for the new Mintel TV streaming app. Bob is proving that you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. What do you say, Bob? Does the Mintel TV app get a thumbs up? All right, Bobby-o. Mintel TV, the next generation of awesome, upgrade today.
Frankfurt Eagles 976 has bingo every Wednesday night. Early birds beginning at 6 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 7 p.m. Packets are $25 and includes every game you need to play. They also have Saturday bingo the first Saturday of every month, with early birds starting at 4 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 5 p.m. Big game payouts each game with 3 to 4 chances to win different jackpot games each day. Great for individuals or groups because everyone enjoys winning lots of money. You must be 18 years or older to play.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Well, tonight's game is brought to you by Aaron's Flooring, offering luxury vinyl plank, carpet installation, and more. Visit aaronsflooringllc.com for more information or call 765-601-4145 for a free quote. The first set went to the Rossville Lady Hornets, 25-19. Rossville at 5-7. Clinton Central at 2-6. Both teams 2-1 in the Hoosier Heartland Conference. So conference positioning on the line here in this very important set to begin the month of September.
Yeah, everything kind of logjam there. You got Eastern undefeated at the top of the conference, but after that, Clinton Prairie just 1-0 in conference play so far. But Clinton Central, Rossville, and Sheridan all sit at 2-1 right now, kind of jockeying for position. And after tonight, we'll figure out who's going to be atop those conference standings as it starts to take shape.
Looks like Georgia Evans will start things off as the server for Clinton Central. Don't forget, the volleyball state finals are played every year in October at Worthen Arena on the campus of Ball State University. Always a fun time. Usually the sets are very competitive. They often go more than 3, and it is a loud and raucous atmosphere. Rossville put back in Melly Thorpe, the libero, and Evans gets us underway here for set 2. Maylee Thorpe, and well, Carly Davison, even though she's been out of position near the sideline, able to keep it in play for Clinton Central.
Yeah, I think it's important for Clinton Central here in set number 2 is to kind of find that run that they had towards the end of set number 1 and build a little bit of a lead here over Rossville, put some pressure on them.
Great rally to start the set. Tough play by Elise Oakes. She had to hit it backwards to give one of her teammates a chance at it. Douglas still waiting on a ruling. They say it was tipped by Clinton Central, so point goes to Rossville.
Yeah, credit Oakes over there, what you were talking about. I think I pulled a muscle in my neck watching her just try to keep that one alive.
Yeah. And then Rossville comes right back with a service error. And again, if you watch volleyball on the ISC Sports Network with myself, Sean Walker, you got Jean Kesterson who'll be in. She always says volleyball is a huge game of momentum. And that is it's tough to take when you're the team that has the service error after you had the win on that huge rally, although Rossville once again takes the lead and brings back Madison Douglas to serve.
That was great vision there, able to push that one across. Again, just looking to see where the defense is not and putting the ball in a perfect place.
High arching serve from Douglas. Kept alive by Huffman. Hit over by Gorbett. And tracked down by Evans. And Clinton Central's efforts at the net unsuccessful. Point for Rossville.
Clinton Central just got to find some calm here. Get those passes crisp again.
I always say when you're the team that falls behind after set 1, set 2 is critical. Because if you can tie it up at 1, you have breathing room. Even if you lose set 3, you're still not done. But if you lose set 2, then you go into a do or die scenario for set 3, and that's not an easy place to be in. And that's what Clinton Central's trying to avoid here. And at the net, that time, Courtney Serber, you can tell after she hit that, she didn't quite get the arc on it that she wanted. So Rossville gets another point.
Reaching back to the set, not necessarily where she wanted it. Those are the things that you'll work through. I mean, again, we talked about the youth on the floor really for both teams. You do have some senior leaders out there, but a lot of times these players too, just because they're juniors and seniors on these teams doesn't mean that they've had a lot of floor time. I know as an example, Rossville graduated quite a few players last year. And so even a player like Courtney Huffman, she was second in assists, and she's a senior this year. But this is really her first full-time duty of being on the floor nonstop. And, you know, it's a change.
Takes a little bit to get used to. Rossville had scored 4 in a row until the service error. Clinton Central tries to bounce back, and Georgia Evans misplayed it, knew it right away.
You know, Rossville's top 2 players last year as a timeout gets called here. They both graduated, Marley Roberts and Demi Freeman. And Marley was arguably one of the best setters in Clinton County history, had almost 2,500 assists when her career was all said and done.
That's crazy to think about. Well, this game brought to you in part by Mulberry Telecommunications. Let us be the first to welcome you to the Fiberhood. Mintel Fiber Optic Services offers super fast, reliable internet with gigabit speeds, streaming TV packages, and voice solutions. Sign up today at mintel.net. That is MINTEL.net, or call 765-296-2885 for more information today. That's Mulberry Telecommunications. So short timeout. Clinton Central's got to find a way to regroup here, Sean. How do they do that?
They got to get back to some crisp passing. And you know, it comes in waves, but it's really, not to beat a dead horse, but that's where it's at. If you can't get into your offense, you're not going to be very successful. And they've struggled tonight on that first pass. And then sometimes when they make a good first pass, the setters struggled getting it to the hitters where they can attack. And you've got to clean that up.
Elise Oaks serves for Rossville. And miscommunication there, but Davison able to hit it, unfortunately for her, in the wrong direction. So Rossville another point, and they bump the lead to 6.
You know, with Clinton Central being 2-6 on the season, this is just their 9th match of the year. And so, you know, you're still trying to figure things out. You've got players and rotations that you're fine-tuning. And so you want to be playing your best volleyball towards the end of the season. It's not the end of the world, you know, if you lose here tonight. But the problem is it's a conference match, and you want to stay at the top of those conference standings. So, you know, these are the games that you want to have a good showing in. You want to have your letdowns or nights where you have an off night against somebody who's not a conference opponent.
Right. Davison again in a tough spot. Davison able to track it down again, gives her teammate a shot at it. And Piercy.
You know, it's really what you're seeing is the difference. If you look at the two sides of the floor and you think defensive specialist, you have a steady player. And it's not that Maylee Thorpe isn't making some mistakes for Rossville, but you can tell how steady she is. And Rossville has been able to get into their offense so much more tonight. Obviously, we don't have the analytics, but just eye test-wise, I would say 75-80% of the time Rossville is they're in attack. And, you know, on the other side, it's more of just scramble mode, keep the ball alive for Clinton Central.
And you'll hear volleyball coaches talk about the importance of being in system. And what that means is I think it hit the ceiling again. The ball did. Point for Rossville. If it hits the ceiling or any part of it's still in the game of play, so you got to go off of it. But really, here's how you know if you're in system. If you are moving the ball around and everybody knows where it's supposed to be, that is in system. If you're not in system, you're typically chasing things down. Somebody's having to fill a gap that somebody else forgot. And Rossville's doing a lot of playing in system right now.
That in system, a good analogy would be if you've ever had like an ant colony or an ant farm.
Yeah.
You can see them all working in unison for one goal, one thing. If you throw, you know, an insect who's detrimental to the ants inside there and they all start scattering,
yes,
that's that out of system look where everybody's just scrambling everywhere, you know, kind of every man for themselves. It feels like you're trying to do the best for your team, but you're kind of scrambling all over the floor, and we've seen a lot of that, unfortunately, tonight for the girls in green.
Kate Meek with it. Able to set it up for Cabry Bogan.
And you can just see, if you just watch girls drifting, and you'll find, you know, girls out of place. And then if you've got to run 10 to 15 feet to get back to where you're originally supposed to be, you're probably playing out of position.
Addie Gorbett was the one who got the kill there for Rossville. And when you're playing in system, it's easy to spot when players are out of system. And a player like Gorbett, who is only a sophomore but does a lot of things like an upperclassman. That's difficult to be in, and there's a mistake by Clinton Central. Leads to a point for Rossville.
You know, the unfortunate thing in volleyball, a lot of times what you find too is it's kind of like that analogy of being in quicksand. You know, the harder you fight to try to get out of this and rally back, the worse things start to become. You start to try to overcompensate and make up, you know, all them points in a hurry, and it just doesn't work out, and you find yourself behind on the scoreboard pretty quickly.
Courtney Serber, who again loves to play that serve way far back, her second service error of the night.
You know, they need somebody like Serber or Evans right now, a couple of those seniors, to just be a vocal leader on the floor, kind of calm the tide here, and then just start going 1 point at a time. Try to limit your mistakes and claw back into this.
Thorpe, the libero, able to fill the gap and get it. Nice job there by Server to get it over.
Laura Archibald and myself had a game last week with Clinton Prairie where, I mean, I don't, it was just one of the wildest matches I've seen. They would fall behind by 8 points. They'd come all the way back and take the lead. But it was just like all of a sudden they would say enough's enough. They would calm down and by 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, fight their way back. And that's really what Clinton Central needs to try to do here.
Another try there by Serber, but she just didn't quite get enough on it. Thorpe, the libero, back to serve. Up near the front, you've got Elise Oakes, as well as Kate Meek for Rossville. Thorpe hits it high in the air for Madison Douglas, but Clinton Central in the right position.
Ooh, that's in.
I think it is in, yes.
That was right on the line. Beautiful play there from the Bulldogs.
And Carly Davison, the sophomore, gets credit for that. Eden Speaks, a junior, one of the 3 juniors on the varsity roster, is the server for the Bulldogs.
You can see the Bulldogs have some talent. I mean, that one off the off the kisser
of Madison Douglas. That's an example, a rare example where sometimes when you serve, the net can be your friend.
For sure.
And it was, and that's what threw it off, and Maddie Douglas was not expecting it to be there. Unfortunately for Clinton Central that time, the net was not their friend, and the point goes to Rossville. And they're trying to figure out a rotation here. They're making some subs. Putting back in Courtney Huffman, who serves.
Yeah, it's part of that 2-setter look that they had. So Kate Meek was handling setting duties there for a while, and now Huffman comes back in. She'll be the setter in this offense, unless you attack her first like that.
Diving attempt made by Davison, couldn't quite get there. And the point that time goes to Lainey Bodine, one of the 4 juniors for the Lady Hornets. What's interesting is they are very evenly spaced out. 4 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores for Rossville. No freshmen. All the freshmen they have play on junior varsity. And what a move there by Elise Oakes. I think some of the Clinton Central folks there thought she might have lifted that, but the officials let it go.
Yeah, that looks like a catch and a throw there to me, just a little bit. Not necessarily a swing, but either way, she put it in play. So.
And it's really difficult time here for Clinton Central as they call another timeout to try to figure things out down 9. Ardente Dental offers high-tech dentistry with a personal touch. Whether you're a brand new patient or you've been with them for years, they are here to serve you. Give them a call at 765-654-7222 or visit them online at ardentedental.com. Ardente Dental. We bring smiles to life.
A good look inside that huddle. I like how Coach Perry is continuing to coach the girls up here. You know, they're trying to figure out something, whether it's a change in rotation, whether it's just, you know, a confidence-boosting conversation, but they trying to break this roll that Rossville's on right now.
We were at 8-4. Clinton Central had scored a couple points in a row to get within 4 since that time, though. Rossville has outscored Clinton Central 9-4. And if you're just joining us, we talked about this at the outset of the broadcast. Rossville has made some changes. They have an interim varsity volleyball coach and Lexi Shriver taking over. They don't have, arguably, their best player, Brooklyn Edmonds, who's out for the season. And both teams below 500 in a big conference game here tonight as that one goes out for Clinton Central, who is in danger of going down 2-0.
Yeah, looking ahead, Rossville's got an opportunity to kind of roll off some wins here, too. They've got a tournament on Saturday where they'll face Attica and then, whoever else, depending on how the wins or losses come. But then they'll face Taylor, and Taylor struggled this year a little bit. 0-3 in conference play, 0-5 overall in the season. So Rossville's got an opportunity to string some wins.
Addie Gorbett was waiting for it. Popped up by Evans, and that set it up for Rossville. I think that ball hung in the air a long time, and that allowed Rossville's defense to get in position.
Yeah, Elise Oaks right there in the middle did a nice job on that overpass. It carried across the net, and you were taught to make them pay, and that's exactly what she did there.
Evans gives the opportunity to Davison, and Carly Davison converts.
Carly Davison, I don't know how she stayed out of the net there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Looked like Keanu Reeves in the Matrix or something, man. She contorted her body. That was a great point by the Bulldogs.
Chelsea Ryden serving for Clinton Central.
I think that one's into the top of the net, but a couple of blockers in position there for Rossville. Regardless, I don't think that one was getting through.
Madison Douglas now serving. Davison again. They talk it over, and they give the point to Rossville.
So they're going to rule that was outside the antenna there, even though it was touched by a Rossville player. They give the point to Rossville.
A one-hand keep alive by Olivia Perry. And
there you go.
That's exactly what Addie Gorbett tried to do, but just couldn't quite get enough on it. And that gives Carly Davison the ball and a Clinton Central service.
This is the point in set one where Clinton Central went on a nice run and made set one really look kind of respectable at the end, a 25-19 score, because they were down by 8 or 9 points. You just look at the passing right now, and that's where the struggle is.
Thorpe able to get it over.
Here's an opportunity for Clinton Central. They call these free ball opportunities. Weren't able to take advantage.
Now again. The hit by Corbett. Oh, well done on the backside by Davison. When we've had rallies, we've had long ones. But on that particular try, also the speed on some of these hits for Rossville, Sean, just too much for Clinton Central to handle.
They were. Those were two perfect passes. One from the defender to the setter, and then from the setter to the big hit there. I believe it was Elise Oaks or Addie Gorbett, one of the two that had a big swing on that one, and it paid off.
Too much. That goes out.
Yeah, the pressure really starting to mount now, and what you talked about earlier, if you lose set one, you really want to rebound and win set two. Rossville's making a statement here in set two.
Elise Oaks applying the serve for Rossville.
So many times you see a team get out to a 2-0 lead and they end up going 3-0 because the mental game of it's won at that point in time. Great effort there, though.
Yep, but a good response. A rare time, Sean, where Clinton Central's gotten Rossville out of position.
Clinton Central, such a storied program, too. I mean, 14 sectional championships in the school's history. they've won so many sectional championships in the 2000s. I believe they won the first, 5 or 6 sectionals from 2000 to like 05, 06. And then they rattled off 3 in a row back in 12 through 14. Just one of those programs that were so tough. And if it wasn't for Clinton Prairie and what, they were able to do under Coach Connie Garrett, you'd be talking about Clinton Central and all the success that they had, because there were so many years Clinton Central was knocked out by Clinton Prairie when they had a team that probably would have made a nice deep run to the championship as well.
Kate Meek gets that last serve, and Rossville goes on to win set 2 in dominating fashion, 25-11, and they try to finish it off in set 3 when we come back in just a moment. You're watching high school volleyball on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
Frankfurt Eagles 976, serving with the community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, Frankfurt Eagles offers something for everyone. Golf leagues, bingo, concerts, kid parties, cookouts, and more. For more information on who we are and what we do, visit FOE.com or stop by Frankfurt Eagles at 408 North Main Street, Frankfurt, Indiana.
I brought you a present. A book.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team as they fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful, healthy smiles.
Inconceivable. Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die. Inconceivable. To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99. Inconceivable.
You keep using that word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Many communities in rural America are often overlooked as underserved. These communities are being left behind due to lack of internet and access to state-of-the-art technology. That's why Mulberry Telecommunications provides rural broadband services and technology, and is growing their presence in north central Indiana. Because every community deserves infrastructure and beyond. To learn more, contact us today.
Before we get to set 3, we'll remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Frankfurt Eagles, number 976, serving the community since 1905 with over 900 members locally. Frankfurt Eagles offers something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, go to FOE.com or stop by Frankfurt Eagles at 408 North Main Street in Frankfurt. Along with Sean Walker, I'm John Herrick. It's Rossville with a 2-0 lead in this one over Clinton Central. They took the first set 25-19 and won the second one 25-11. So Clinton Central has got to win set 3 if they want to continue playing this match. That is a good start. Ironically enough, Clinton Central has scored the first point now of each of the 3 sets, but they have not been able to maintain that throughout. However, they get it back here. Let's see if they can do that. Sean, how do they get more in system and figure things out?
Again, I hate to beat a dead horse. It's passing. They got to find a way to get Chris passing. When you can put the pressure on the defense, when you get some big swings from, Eden Speaks and Carly Davison and Courtney Serber, those have to come off of good passes for those girls to be able to make quality swings. And, so far, first 2 points in here, it's what you want to see.
Yeah, they've gotten Rossville a little bit rattled to start off. And Georgia Evans goes back. She serves.
There you go, free ball opportunity now. Works out again. Not necessarily the crispest pass there from Evans, but it went to Davidson. She put a good swing on it, and there you go.
Evans again.
Or it could have been Serber. I can't see the numbers tonight if I have my glasses.
It's tough. Sometimes when you got darker color on dark color. I'll put it this way. It's better than the numbers we had last Thursday.
There we go.
Where you have, it's not easy, and coaches and athletic directors everywhere, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Light on dark. Let's just have contrasting colors. That way it makes it easy to see the numbers and the letters.
Yeah, I know a couple of years ago doing a football game at Lafayette, Jeff, they came out and the uniforms were awesome. They were all black jerseys, black numbers, and they had a real thin red outline around the numbers. But when you got up to the press box to call the game, you couldn't tell who was who.
Hard to tell, yeah.
And so we were literally laughing because the PA announcer would just say, tackle made by somebody for Lafayette, Jeff. He had no idea who it was either, and they even had binoculars and spotters.
A little too much on that one. Gives it back to Rossville. Courtney Huffman picked up the ball. Gave it over to Elise Oakes, who served. Chased down by Chelsea Rydens. Rydens has made some big plays tonight.
Yeah, she's hit the floor a handful of times, and she's going to have some bruises to treat come tomorrow.
Popped up by Huffman. Tries to set up Gorbett, and Gorbett able to convert and get the kill.
Yeah, those are tough there. You've got your blockers in position, and the rest of the defense kind of positions themselves around. And unfortunately, it leaves that opening there on the far side of the net. Great play.
That was all Georgia Evans. She deserves a lot of credit for that. That's kind of the old, another deceiving move where you act as if you're going to set it to a teammate and you end up just hitting it over at an angle into a spot on the floor where you don't think the defense is going to be.
Well, I'll tell you, after losing set number 2, 25-11, it would have been really easy for Clinton Central to come out and just kind of mail in set number 3 here, but they have not. They have continued to fight. You've got girls diving all over the place to make plays. And right now they're up 3 here in set 3.
Yeah, they honestly look like a different team here. Look like a team that's gone into desperation mode. And those 50-50 plays at the net that were going Rossville's way are starting to go Clinton Central's way.
Occasionally you'll see a setter start to do this where, if you're struggling on offense to pass the ball around, is you just go over quicker, go over in 2, try to do it out of the norm and catch the defense sleeping. And Georgia Evans has been able to do that on a few of these plays.
And that one from Serber, way out. So allows Rossville to make a couple of substitutions. They bring in Kay Bree Bogan and also Kate Meek. And Meek is the server. Rossville trying to win their 3rd match in a row and get their 5th win at home. Played by Evans. To the back line, waiting on it was Addie Gurgley. And I think that's the second time, Sean, we've seen Clinton Central put a little too much on it. And that might be a sign that the adrenaline is flowing a little bit too much.
They got it going right now, pumping a little bit. You take just a little bit off.
Rossville trying to settle down and get things back in control for themselves. Gorbett put a tough ball in play, and Carly Davison near the boundary was able to track it down. And Clinton Central recovers and gains the key point. And Alyssa Empson is your server.
I hear Laura Archibald say it all the time. Volleyball is not a tough sport. You have to pass well. You got to cover your zones. And right now here in set number 3, we are seeing Rossville do that. Clinton Central do that. They are making some great passes, and now the pressure is being put on Rossville to make the plays. And, Rossville's the one out of system right now, kind of running around scrambling.
Courtney Huffman and Lainey Bodine just came back in.
Yeah, Kate Meek dove on that last play, and she come up kind of grabbing her hip, that hip pointer area. So hopefully she'll be all right. These wood floors are unforgiving.
Yes. And, of course, all the players are wearing pads and, knee pads and stuff, but it doesn't protect you from everything.
Yeah, not on the hip area.
Nope, not on the hip, and sometimes not on the arms or shoulders either.
Now, because that substitution happens out of rotation here due to injury, the official's just going to make sure that they've got everybody where they need to be, make sure the right players are on the floor.
Double checks with the lineup card and then gives it back to the scorer's table.
Yep, they're good to go.
We're ready to continue play here. Alyssa Empson puts that right hand into it. Unfortunately for her, service error. Again, that's the thing you don't want to have happen if you're Clinton Central. You fought back. You've had this momentum. Things are going your way here in set 3. And a service error is just the kind of thing that Rossville yearns for to get momentum off of.
Yeah, you don't want to give them anything free. Make them earn it. And that's what service errors do.
Got it just in. The kill goes to Allie Neubauer, one of the 4 sophomores for Rossville. And they are back within 1.
It sounded like Neubauer hit that one a little fat. It kind of came off the edge of her hand.
Yeah.
But still, put it where she needed to put it and ends up with a great point there for her team.
It sounded like, or at least it looked like too, she wasn't even convinced by what it was doing, but was thrilled when she got the point.
Yeah, I heard Peyton Manning talking the other day. It was one of those behind-the-scenes documentaries, and he was talking about throwing a touchdown and, this beautiful route that was ran, and he's like, and here, I throw this ugly duck, but it got where it needed to go.
Right.
Receiver came down with it, got the touchdown. And so sometimes you call those UBA, ugly but effective.
Yeah.
Or that'd be UBE. Either way.
UBE, yeah. And Rossville has seized control back in this one. They have scored 4 in a row after trailing 8-5. How does Clinton Central respond? Well, service ace for the Hornets. This was the set where Clinton Central was hanging in longer and longer, but now Rossville seems like they've adjusted. Clinton Central now trying to readjust.
Addie Gorbett thought there was a timeout called there. She threw the ball to the side and then had to get it back.
And that one not over the net from Speaks. She tried all she could. I think we might see a timeout here from Melissa Perry. Yep, the Clinton Central coach heads over to the scorer's table and calls that much-needed timeout, as now that is 6 points in a row for the Rossville Hornets. This gives us a chance to thank our friends at Healthy Communities of Clinton County, where recovery is possible. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, reach out to Healthy Communities at 659-6063 or go to healthyclintoncounty.org. Also a reminder that tonight's game is brought to you by Day and Genda Funeral Home, where they believe in putting family first. As active members of the community, they know that when dealing with a loss, seeing a familiar face and being treated like family is important. Day and Genda Funeral Home will serve your family in a unique and loving way and be the family you need. For more information about the services Day and Genda Funeral Home offers, go to dayandgenda.com. We resume play. Rossville on a 6-0 run, make it 7-0.
A great diving effort there from Clinton Central, but Rossville's regained that mojo they had in set 1 and set 2. They're really starting to put some pressure on Clinton Central now. We're seeing much better serves.
And
that momentum swing, so mentally now the Hornets are back in it.
Addie Gorbett with a few service aces tonight and several kills too. At the net. Oh, I think they collided.
Yeah, both players hit each other there.
Madison Douglas looks like she and Eden Speaks collided knees. Not what you want to do, but because it was a net violation on Rossville, the point goes to Clinton Central.
Speaks might have hit the deck, but they gave Douglas the violation there for being into the net, so point for Central, Clinton Central.
And Rossville out of rhythm there. That's 2 in a row by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs kind of stem the tide here and putting the pressure back on the Hornets now.
Tipped up. Madison Douglas had it hit back to her. Hit over by Speaks. Speaks couldn't keep it in play, so Rossville gets the point.
That's one of the few times tonight that we've seen when they've set Speaks up that she had a miss hit. Like that one was actually a good pass to her, and she just put a little too much on it, a little too strong. Usually when they've set her nice and she's been able to get a full swing on it, it's paid dividends for Clinton Central.
Madison Douglas hit that one over. Clinton Central's system working out well there, but then that one hit too hard by Davidson. You know, you got to give Carly Davison credit, Sean. She's tried to be in position a lot for the Bulldogs tonight, but unfortunately for her, sometimes she's been right there but has not been able to keep that platform. You hear volleyball coaches keep the platform where you're able to hold your hands out and able to keep the ball in front of you.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle tonight, and Clinton Central will go back, they'll watch this tape and try to make some adjustments before their next match. You know, Rossville tonight, just a little bit of a buzzsaw. They come in, you wondered what we were going to see with Brooklyn Edmonds being out to injury, and you know, they've had to learn how to kind of play without her on the fly. You have a change at coach, and man, Rossville's answered the call here.
Yep, miscommunication there between Clinton Central. One too many hits. Not what they were hoping for. Maylee Thorpe, the libero, goes back to serve. We'll also name our Frankfort Eagles Clinton County player of the game after this is over. Thorpe again.
You know, I think it helps when a player with the caliber of Brooklyn Edmonds goes down that you have those steady leaders and steady hands to help guide things while on the floor. I mean, coaches can only do so much from the sideline. They can try to prepare you in practice, but you need those players on the floor. And I really feel like tonight, Addie Gorbett, Maylee Thorpe, Madison Douglas, Courtney Huffman, I mean, they have just gelled and really played together. You've seen a cohesive unit out there on the floor, and during timeouts, even when they were down a little bit, they came out of a timeout, they were dancing on the floor.
Yep.
They just seem to be more loose, having more fun here this evening.
They're also in the midst of another 6-0 run. There's Elise Oakes having a lot of fun, number 6 in red, with Courtney Huffman. The interim coach, Lexi Shriver, enjoying some Miley Cyrus, as is the Rossville student section. And Maylee Thorpe serves yet again.
Yeah, I think athletic director Nate Burkle might have found a good one in Lexi Shriver. I need to do some homework on this because we found out literally right before the game today that she was going to take over for the rest of the year as coach. And so I did a quick Google search, and I believe Lexi was a volleyball player, maybe basketball player at North White. But they found her, and, man, it looks like she's done a really nice job in a short amount of time of, you know, bringing Lori Wayne Scott back, getting a group over there on the bench, and getting these girls to respond. So kudos to her.
And, again, you're going to find out more about that in the Hornet Invite that they've got coming up this Saturday. And then Taylor and North White. By the way, you know, it's not that far away from October, and October is volleyball playoff month in the state of Indiana. So see if Rossville can put something together.
I like that roll shot right there, trying to mix it up. We haven't seen too many of them tonight. Good pass, just miss-hit there by Elise Oakes.
Very rarely that you see the referee pointing both directions, but she got it that time. Whistle.
Oh, into the net.
Yeah, they say she was into the net.
That's unfortunate because that was a good swing there from Clinton Central and would have won them the point.
Well, Rossville has had 7-0 runs in this set, also a 6-0 run too. That wasn't what she was hoping for on that one.
You know, for Coach Melissa Perry, I believe this is her second year at the helm of the Bulldogs, and you know, you've got a lot of youth on the team, you really do, and you've got some bright spots and some players that are going to be returning for you. You know, obviously you still have a long way to go this season, and so no reason to get discouraged, you know, even if tonight didn't go your way. There's some pieces here to kind of build around and look for the future.
Yep, coming off of an 8-23 season last year. They closed that season on a 9-match losing streak, 2-6 so far, trying to just rebound. But again, this is a young team, mostly made up of underclassmen.
I mean, when 12 of your 14 sectionals have come in the last 23 years, you know you're doing something right,
yep.
right? I mean, that's more than 50%. You're winning sectionals basically every year, and they've had some nice years where they've won a bunch in a row and then had a little bit of a drought, and obviously 2014 feels like a long time ago. But this is a program, a school, a team that will definitely continue to build, and the Bulldogs will be back, man. There's too much talent in that neck of the woods and even on this roster for this team to hang their heads too much.
Served by Allie Adair. Did she get that on the line, or is it out? Finally, we get a ruling, and they say just out.
That was my initial thought, but it was definitely close. I mean, a replay would probably confirm it. Don't think we're going to have time to show it to you here, but, man, it was close for sure.
Oaks now serving for Rossville. Gorbett. That one goes out. No doubt about that one.
Always get excited, you know, Thursday night volleyball, and then it turns into football Friday night.
Yeah.
Tons of games on the ISC Sports Network tomorrow. Then college season kicks off on Saturday for us as well.
And the kill goes to Gorbett, and now it is match point for Rossville.
Marion University, we got women's soccer at 1, and I think football at 6. So we've got a Marion doubleheader on Saturday.
And you guys also have UIndy games, right?
We do.
Yep.
UIndy's back this year as well.
I mean, as that one is dropped in, and Gorbett gets the final point of the night, and that is fitting. That leads us into our Frankfort Eagles Clinton County Player of the Game. About almost 10 kills tonight for Addie Gorbett, Sean. Had a few service aces as well. We talked about it at the outset of the broadcast that without Brooklyn Edmonds, Addie Gorbett, you know, along with several seniors, we're going to have to step up, and Gorbett was the one who really helped pull the weight the most for the Rossville Hornets.
Yeah, as a freshman last year, she was 3rd on the team in kills, and now with Edmonds out, she's really going to have, you know, kind of carte blanche. She's going to be able to do whatever she wants on the offensive side and just free swing, and, you know, it's going to be exciting to see what Addie Gorbett transitions into. You know, just a sophomore, and she's looking really good here early on in the season for the Hornets.
So set 1 was 25-19 Rossville. Set 2, 25-11 Rossville. Set 3, 25-15 Rossville. Clinton Central drops to 2-7, and Rossville improves to 6-7. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Frankfort Eagles number 976. They are people helping people. Also by Day and Ginda Funeral Home, proud supporters of high school athletics in Clinton and Carroll County. By the healthy communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. And by Mulberry Telecommunications, Mintel Fiber Services, offering the best gig in town. For my partner Sean Walker, I'm John Herrick saying so long from Rossville. They take it over Clinton Central 3-0. You've been watching high school volleyball on the ISC Sports Network.
Still on his feet. Stevens lunges.
Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County.
Unbelievable.
Touchdown. Living up to that last name. Wabash has the lead for the first time today. said that was going to be a highlight reel.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.